It's Pro Wrestling. Some of you already know what it is. Happy Saturday morning to everybody. This is the AEW Weekly show that we do here at Good Villain Media. Unfortunately, Knowledge was not able to join us today, so we're going to press on. They gave me the microphone and said, have at it. I said, okay, you really don't want me to do that, but all right. So today we're going to be talking about MJF and the challengers that were revealed on Dynamite, the new suspected Saturday show in the 6:05 time slot from AEW, and also the AEW tag division, not the trios division, but the tag division. So we're going to be going over those three things today, but let's get right into it. MJF and his challengers. Okay, so MJF is having a fucking cool little rebar mitzvah, beautiful celebration, for his birthday. And, these three guys come down to the ring simultaneously, and they do this promo, and it was pretty good. I'm not upset about the promo. What I'm upset about is that none of the three guys that came down to the ring deserved to be the first challenger after Danielson. None of them. I mean, even if he defended the title in a four-way match, it still wouldn't make any sense. And I'm going to give you the reasons why it doesn't make any sense. Number one, MJF was correct about the daddy daycare thing. He's the only one that did not have some sort of guidance. On screen, anyway. So, not only that, but let's review who the challengers are. Darby Allin, hell of a talent. I'm not saying anything about any of these guys' talent. They're all fucking super talented, okay? But I'm going to give you the reasons why they shouldn't be the fucking challengers for MJF's title. Darby Allin lost to Joe. Got absolutely decimated by Joe, okay? So that, just in that sense, that would mean that Joe should challenge. But okay, let's not go there. Maybe Joe goes back after Wardlow. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen with that? They're playing hot potato with the TNT Championship. That's fine. The fact is that Darby didn't beat anybody yet of merit. He really hasn't beaten anybody in the last, probably 6 to 8 months that has been worthy. Jungle Boy has been embroiled in a feud with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus for the past year. Last time we saw Luchasaurus, he beat up Jungle Boy, so that, de facto would put Luchasaurus in that spot. Also, Sammy Guevara has all the talent in the world but a fucking 3-cent head. He picks fights with people backstage, and it's not the fucking wisest people to fucking pick fights with, I'm sure. Not only that, but he's got all the talent in the world but a 3-cent head. And it's very reminiscent of a lot of other guys that came before him who were in that fucking same vein. It really does. Like, they make fucking really poor fucking business decisions. And I take nothing away from any of their talents, but none of them deserve to be the number one fucking contender for the title, much less be the guys to challenge after Danielson. It's got to be another credible guy. Those guys have not beat anybody of merit. They really haven't. And that sucks to say. And again, not due to their talent, but due to the booking decisions that have been made. That's the only reason why they're in that spot, is because of the booking decision. It has nothing to do with the talent in the ring. The talent in the ring is substantially better than most wrestling that you'll see. And say what you want about the style that they wrestle, and that there's not as much selling and all that. Well, the fact is that that's not wrestling anymore. Some people still work that style, and they work it really effectively. But you have to be in a position to fucking work that style. You can't just turn it on and off when you have fucking 3 minutes on TV. Unfortunately, we're in the era of you gotta get your fucking shit in. And you don't have time to fucking waste, because that 90 seconds that you get on TV or 60 seconds that you get on fucking television for AEW is, that shit's worth a lot of money. Like, you have to look at that as money to you. And you have, 90 seconds worth of money being had. And you got to do everything in your fucking power to make the fucking people pop in the 90 seconds that you have. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not what I prefer. I prefer, the storytelling of wrestling. That's what I prefer. I wish people would sell more, but I understand that is not the wrestling business that is currently being had. It's just not. I mean, Roman does that, but I mean, that's fucking Roman. He's worked up from those 90-second TV spots. And I think that these guys need to do the same. They would have to go on a fucking crazy run, string of victories, all three guys, to, in my opinion, to even be considered as credible contenders for that title. You can't even be considered a credible contender with the matches that you have currently been booked to lose. You just haven't. And that, and I'm not saying that it's going to be a bad match. I'm sure that the fucking match is going to be fine. But from a believability standpoint, it makes no fucking sense if we're telling the fucking story. Now, on the flip side of that, they're telling a masterful story with the Hangman story. So it's not that they can't tell the story. It's lazy booking. That's what it is. And these guys being the pillars of AEW. Like, that is a tough fucking pill to swallow. I mean, are those really the do you really consider those the pillars of AEW? I mean, I don't. I don't consider those guys the pillars of AEW. Not even MJF. MJF said it himself. He's an attraction. He wants to be considered in the same vein as Andre the Giant. So how is booking him to do this program with three guys who are not credible make him an attraction? It doesn't. It doesn't make him an attraction. It makes him just another guy. And unfortunately, for everybody else, he's doing it better than everybody else. So, like, you at some point need to, just like Tony Khan said about the All Atlantic title is now the international title. People need to level up to the competition. Danielson is always going to be a credible challenger. Moxley, always going to be a credible challenger. Fucking Cesaro, Claudio, always going to be a credible challenger. Hangman, Kenny Omega, The Elite. Any of those guys could challenge for the title, and it is fucking completely credible. Totally credible to fucking have those guys wrestle against, because it's marquee name value. You just had this guy wrestle Bryan Danielson in a 67-minute match. And then you're going to fucking book him to wrestle a 4-way match against guys who haven't earned the opportunity to be in that spot. Again, not due to talent, but just due to booking. And it comes down to TK and how he's booked these guys. Or whoever is doing the booking for the matches. From a story standpoint, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And it's fucking super unfortunate because MJF has garnered so much attention at this point. Like, you're really taking your foot off the gas with how much you're going to be able to maximize with this guy. And, like, I don't know what the contract situation is. If I was TK, I would hope that he was using this, the bidding war of 2024 to, he's already locked up MJF for multiple years. But who the fuck knows? I mean, MJF seems pretty fucking hell-bent on going to WWE from an outsider standpoint. I am not an insider. I have no fucking idea. But from an outsider standpoint, it looks like he's going to fucking go to WWE. And good on him, because he's going to make a lot of money there. As long as he stops swearing in his promos, he's going to make a lot of money there. 100%. So I don't know why you would take the foot off the gas and have him and relegate him to be working with these three guys. Like, there's just so many other people on the roster that could help him, could help MJF, solidify his credibility. And, like, honestly, for me, his credibility has already been solidified, but I think for some other people, there's still questions. I think people still have fucking questions about the guy, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I mean, he wrestled 67 minutes with, arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Not in terms of drawing money, but in terms of, like, technically the best technical wrestler in the history of wrestling. So, I mean, just a lot of more credible people. I wouldn't have fucking booked it that way, and I wouldn't have. I mean, it just makes these guys, have to step up their game, but, like, they haven't earned the spot. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck TK's doing, but whatever. I don't know. I never know what the guy's doing. Let's move on to the new Saturday show that's supposedly happening in the 6:05 time slot, the old WCW time slot. On TBS. I guess they're going to call the show Collision. They already have another show, AEW All Access, that is happening. I don't know when that's going on. I really don't have an interest in, like, contrived stuff like that. I don't watch like Total Divas or fucking any of those, like, reality shows. I can't, like, get into it. I just fucking can't. So I don't know how much I'm going to be seeing on that. But, I mean, the fact is why are you fucking putting more programming on? You haven't figured out the fucking programming that you currently have. But you're just going to put more programming on. That doesn't seem to be a wise fucking business move. It just doesn't. You're going to oversaturate. You're going to flood the market because you're probably going to tape the Saturday show after, Dynamite. I mean, because they already taped Rampage, or before Dynamite, you're going to tape the Saturday show. So, like, results are going to get leaked, like, the whole deal. And, like, you're just going to have to drum up so much interest. Like, I just don't understand why not put ROH product in that spot. I mean, you own that product. Like, why wouldn't you try to finagle to put ROH in that 6:05 time slot? I mean, that would probably fucking draw more eyes than a fucking, a B or C show from AEW. Listen, they're already fucking taping matches, so, I mean, it's going to be a pre-taped fucking thing anyway. I just don't understand why you would do that. You're oversaturating the market when you haven't figured out your own fucking programming. I mean, Rampage's fucking ratings are in the toilet, but you're going to give more wrestling on a Saturday night at 6:05? I mean, WWE puts their pay-per-views on Saturdays now. I mean, how the fuck are you going to combat that? You're going to go head-to-head against WWE pay-per-views on a Saturday night? Well, you know what? I strike that. Let me take that back, because if it's a 6:05 time slot, then WWE pay-per-views start at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, I mean, they could potentially do that. And that would be like, for wrestling fans, they would probably use that as like a Sunday Night Heat avenue, just to get into into the wrestling mode. But I don't know. I honestly don't. I mean, if I'm TK, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking, putting on another fucking show when you haven't figured out Rampage yet. I mean, you still have problems on booking with Dynamite. Like, I mean, you have so many people on your roster and so many really quality, talented, over people that are not being utilized at all. It's just fucking nutty. It's fucking nutty to me. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You don't put the people on TV who are actually over, and I get it. You want to get other people over. But that it's really fucking hard, man. It's not just as easy as sticking somebody out there on TV and being like, hey, you know, go connect. Like, it's just not that easy anymore, and I understand that's part of the job, and like that's what you're supposed to do, but I think what the issue is the lack of fucking direction. And what fucking direction you're going in with some of these fucking stories. Like where the fuck, I mean, what is the purpose? What is the end game? You must have some sort of idea that you have already fantasy booked this thing in your head. So like, what could it be? Like, what are the stories? Because we don't see them. I mean, the Hangman and Elite storyline is the only story that we see right now. I mean, please hit the comments. Enlighten me if I'm fucking missing something on AEW programming that is a fucking substantial story. What am I missing? Other than the thing that they just, debuted, this Hangman and Elite thing that they just are now revisiting. And I think it's a really smart business move. I think that they did the cliffhanger for it really well. I'm not taking anything away from that, but why do more programming when you haven't figured out the programming that you already have? Again, the ROH, that would be perfect for that time slot. Put the ROH programming in that fucking time slot. I can almost guarantee that is going to draw more fucking ratings than more AEW programming that nobody gives a fuck about. I'm just saying it how it is. I'm saying it how it is. I'm not, believe me, I'm not a fucking hater. I would love to be in fucking Tony Khan's position. I would love to fucking have the book for a fucking major wrestling organization where I had all the fucking toys in the world to play with. And I shouldn't call them toys, but in the euphemism sense. All the talent in the world to use at your disposal, and the decision making is just like crazy to me. And how do you not have fucking stories for these people, man? It's not that fucking difficult. Get people invested in the fucking characters. Who have you invested in? Who have the fans invested in? I mean, Danhausen is your number one merch seller. Orange Cassidy, I'm sure, sells a lot of merch. Okay, so why is Danhausen not like the host of a show? Why is Danhausen not like the host of Rampage? If he is your number one merch seller, I would do everything in my power to put that guy on television as much as possible. Me personally, I'm not a fan of his wrestling. I think the character's funny. I think that the character is over. So why not have that guy host the show for you? The other guy, RJ City. Funny. He's funny, man. He does fucking funny shit. He has really funny quibs. He has good comebacks on people. Like, that shit is funny. I would have these guys hosting shows. Talking to wrestlers. You talk about all this old school shit. I mean, why not do it like what they used to do in NWA Florida, man? Have them fucking doing live like commentary. That would be fucking fun. Danhausen would be hysterical doing that shit. Or talking to wrestlers after the match. Interviewing them on the fucking stage after the match. All you gotta do is put like a pulpit, off the side of the entranceway. Not gonna disturb nothing, and then you have fucking Danhausen stand there. Or go over to the commentary table and do commentary, and then come back and fucking talk to the wrestler after the match. That's a great way to get people over. And he would be fucking awesome at that. If he is your number one fucking merch seller, I would be fucking pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. I would try to be on TV. I don't necessarily, if it was me, I don't know if I would have him wrestle, but he would be an integral part of my television programming. The more eyes that you expose to that, he's obviously over for a reason. He obviously sells the most merch for a reason. So give that guy more of an opportunity. Give that guy more screen time to see if it's legit or not. If more people are buying his merch after you put him on TV, then you know you got something on your hands. If after 6 weeks you don't see improvement, then you take him off of the fucking show. You tried something different. You're not at the level of competing with WWE. It's just facts. It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know what they're going to do for this Saturday show. I don't know what type of programming it's going to be. I mean, I'm excited about the time slot because it's a great fucking time slot. I mean, that's premium time. You know, maybe not for that 18 to 49 demographic. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe that 18 to like 35 demographic. But that 35 to 49 demographic, those wrestling fans who have money generally and are spending it on their kids, those are the people who are going to be at home watching that show. So if you put shit programming on, people aren't going to come back. That's just facts. It's just money talk. Bullshit runs a marathon. All right, let's get into the last subject of the day, the fucking tag division in AEW. Boy. You know, I hate to fucking sit here and just fucking be like a hater, man. I hate being that person. I really do. But it's only because I want good shit. And like, listen, the FTR get for them is a fucking huge thing. It's a huge fucking deal. Huge deal. They have a ton of fucking teams that FTR can work with and make stars. They can make that tag division serious business again. And I like the Guns. I like the Acclaimed. There are other, the Butcher and the Blade. Like, I like a lot of the teams that they have. I like Tony Nese and Josh Woods. I think that they're a fucking really good team. I like Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. I think Big Bill is a solo guy because he's just fucking a giant human being. But that's just me personally. But I like Lee Moriarty. I like fucking Adam Cole. I like the Young Bucks to a certain extent. I mean, there are a lot of fucking teams, man. You know, United Empire is out there. Like, I mean, I would be using United Empire. You know, they're teasing more Bullet Club members. So what the fuck does that mean? Is Jay White going to go to AEW? Because that could make the tag team division more interesting if he teams with Juice. You know, maybe not. Maybe these other Bullet Club members are more people from Impact. I mean, he just signed Taya Valkyrie. He just signed, what's his name? Stu Grayson. Like, I mean, there is possibility that it could be, Ace Austin and, fucking, who's the other guy there? What the fuck? I can't fucking think of the guy's name right now. God damn it. He's really good, too. He's a fucking I really like that kid a lot. He's fucking really good. I can't think of his name for some reason, but maybe it's more Impact people. You know, could it be Jay White? It could be. I mean, I don't see why they would do that, but I mean, there are a lot of fucking tag teams, man. There are a lot of teams. And not only that, but they have teams who are trios. I mean, you have 2.0. They're a fucking very credible tag team. Work more of a comedy style. It's entertainment. I mean, the JAS, it's sports and entertainment. Like, that's what it is. So, but I mean, those guys are fucking credible. You could have them fucking wrestle any of the teams who are there, and it would be a fine match. You know, and believe me, I like the trios wrestling. I fucking think the trios titles are very fucking smart. Separate you. But if you're gonna do trios titles, I wouldn't do tag titles. I know that's fucking probably not a popular opinion, but it's just so many fucking belts. And now you have to have tag teams, and then you have to have trios teams on top of it. If you just did the trios teams, then you could have faction warfare. You could have all sorts of fucking crazy shit going on. You could also take from Japan and do like a fucking 6-man tag league. You know? People can fucking say what they want, man, but tournaments fucking draw money. Look at March Madness. Fucking tournaments draw. It's just how it goes, man. King of the Ring, it's that type of shit fucking draws. People get into shit like that. I thought WWE was going to do a better job with the World Cup. Maybe that's something that AEW explores with their tag division. You know, maybe they push that harder. Again, I don't want to seem like a fucking hater and I'm just burying their fucking product, because there's a lot of good things about their product. It's just that it's being booked really poorly. And I'm not saying anything fucking controversial. That's fucking fact. That's fact. It's fucking booked poorly. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, it comes down to one guy who's making those fucking booking decisions. Again, not saying... not disparaging the guy, it's just fact. He has all the talent in the world there, and he can't figure out how to put on a fucking credible product. It doesn't make a lick of sense. So how would I change the tag division? Here's exactly how I would change it. I would do a very quick storyline with the Guns, get the titles off of them. I would have FTR probably work with, I don't know. I mean, a storyline with the Guns could be hot, but you got to get the titles off the Guns, because the Guns need to be dastardly. And you can't let FTR marinate for too long without having the belts. It's not going to make any fucking sense, and people are going to lose interest. And you want to strike while the iron's hot, and the iron's hot right now. So you strike now, and then you have them literally just work with every team and get those fucking teams over. They just go on an absolute barrage of winning and holding those titles and bringing some prestige to the titles. And I think that you do a longer program with the Bucks. Maybe Kenny goes and does something with, I don't know, maybe Kota Ibushi. Maybe you reunite the Golden Lovers. I mean, that's a possibility that I would entertain for serious. And I think Kenny would entertain that as well. And I mean, that's a fucking team who I would love to see go up against FTR. Those matches would be fucking interesting. And honestly, I think that, split any of those trios teams up and, into tag teams, and you can have really credible matches throughout the card. It's just there's no credibility to those titles right now. And it's unfortunate. I love fucking tag team wrestling. I think it's great. I think it's the best form of fucking wrestling. I really do. I fucking love it. And it's a shame that, these matches are not up to snuff, up to, they don't pass the fucking sniff test, as far as I'm concerned. But who the fuck am I? Again, who the fuck am I? I'm just some fucking, I'm just some fan, a mark, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I really don't give a fuck. But I have a right to my fucking opinion, and it just so happens that, people who I share my opinion with sometimes fucking agree with my opinion. So, fuck me. And fuck you too. This has been Pro Wrestling Summit. Happy Saturday, motherfuckers. Make sure that you tune in all weekend for new shit. We'll talk soon. Peace.